Cool. All right, so I have everyone muted in the chat. If you have any questions at any time, type them in the chat. I'll try to get to them as we go through this stuff. Otherwise, I'll make sure to scroll through at the end and make sure I covered any questions that I missed. Okay, but feel free, you don't have to save questions till the end. You can type them in at any point and I will get to them. Today, we are going to be talking about how to drive leads to your business with Google and Bing ads. Okay, some really important stuff. It's one of the main paid advertising platforms and avenues that people use to drive leads to their business. Again, the first thing that anyone does when they search for a product or a company or something that they need information on is they're going to do a search on Google or Bing or whatever search platform they use, most likely Google. Okay, showing up in the Google search results organically is a very long, complicated, and time-consuming process. So if you have even a small marketing budget, you can actually jump to the top of the list in a Google search just by throwing some small dollars down on Google and Bing advertising, okay? So we're gonna go through a few things today. Again, the big goal of this presentation here, because these are such huge platforms that you can always dive deeper and deeper into them. I want to give you guys the minimum amount of things you need to know to feel comfortable creating, making, and optimizing ads, so you're not wasting money or throwing money at things that aren't going to give you results. Okay, so that's really what we're going to be focused on, is giving you the minimum amount of things you need to know to be functional and to drive leads and sales using these platforms. So if you haven't ever used this before, by the end of this, you should be confident enough to go into Google or Bing ad platforms and start creating ads. And if you are using some ads, you'll get some nuggets on how to optimize and make your ads better over the long run. So you're spending less money and getting more traffic to your website. Okay, so we're going to discuss first off just what is pay-per-click, PPC, and how search advertising generally works. What's the structure, how it works a little bit on the back end, just so you guys understand what's going on with all this stuff, rather than just clicking buttons and giving things the green light and letting it run willy-nilly. We're then going to, we'll actually hop into Google and Bing, and I'll show you guys how to create ads using the platforms. Again, giving you the minimum information you need to be functional on the platforms. And then number 3, we're going to go through just some strategies and best practices, some simple and a couple sort of ninja tips and secrets that we've figured out by using these platforms so much. So just to save you guys a little bit of time and making sure you're doing everything as effectively as possible on these platforms. And then lastly, we're going to go through how you can test out different things and optimize your ads, right? Because the name of the game here is optimization. You create something, and because it's digital and it's online, you're constantly getting an instant feedback loop on what's working and what's not. So how to pivot your ads so you're always going towards paying less, getting more, okay? And again, any questions throughout the process, just type them into the chat and I'll make sure to get to them right when you type it or at the end of the presentation. All right, so what is search advertising? Whether you've known it or not, you've all seen paid ads on any search platforms that you use. They'll usually be the top couple results. You'll see them on that screenshot I have here, and they'll have a little marker on it that says ad. Paid listings on Google. We're going to mostly talk about Google today because it's the bigger one. With Bing, we'll talk about that a little more later on. It's less people use it and they pretty much copy everything that Google does. So we're going to mostly talk about Google and it'll all apply to Bing as well. On Google, the top 4 listings will be paid listings, right? So if you have a little bit of advertising money, you can jump ahead of anyone in the organic listing. So you can go right up to number 1 if you want to on search results for certain keywords that you want, okay? And this type of advertising here is called pay-per-click or PPC advertising, okay? Which essentially the name is pretty self-evident that when someone clicks on your ad, that's when you pay. So they will actually list your ads for free, and all you do is pay a certain amount when someone clicks on that ad, okay? And that amount can range a lot. It can be anywhere from, I've seen it at 5 cents per click up to $25 per click, okay? And the way that's all determined is this is actually an auction system. So think of Google as the auction house, and you guys are all bidding on certain keywords with your ads. So if someone was searching for, first-time home buyer, anyone who has an ad created or listed on Google will be auctioning for that spot to show up on the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 spot in the paid ads. Okay, so you'll put, when you create an ad, the maximum you're willing to spend, and Google, using AI and machine learning and all that fun stuff, will actually, let's say there's 500 people who have an ad created around first-time home buyer. Google will give the number 1 spot to the person who's willing to pay the most for it, the number 2 spot to the person who's willing to pay the second most for it, and down the list. Okay, so the key to this game and not wasting money is to find keywords that are a little bit more specific to your audience that not everyone, all your competitors are thinking about. So you're not competing with so many people, and it'll actually make sure that you pay less money to show up in the results. Okay. And then there's also the difference between Bing versus Google. Okay. Google is a much larger platform. So by that, you're going to assume that you're going to get much more competition from other people, right? So let's say you have a competitor and they've got lots of marketing dollars. They can make their ad, and so they'll say, hey, I'm going to pay whatever it takes to always show up in the number 1 spot. Okay, and if you're competing with a player like that for a certain keyword like first-time home buyer, you're going to end up paying a lot more money than if you're finding a keyword that they haven't thought about yet, or that they're not using, or that they have no ads created around. Okay, and we find a lot of success with Bing, actually. Even though less people search on it, people still do use it, and you're going to find a lot less competition there. So that's why we're talking about Bing as well, because a lot of you might be thinking, who uses Bing? People still do, and there's going to be a lot less other lenders and mortgage offices that you'll be competing with to show up in the first, second, third spot on Google searches for using Bing as well. So I recommend testing it out and trying it out for yourselves. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and get into these platforms, and I'll walk you through a little bit what everything means. Jeff wants to know if you can target by location, if you can geo-define. Yes. The biggest way you're going to you can do that within the platform. So you can actually select in Google. I'll show you guys in a little bit what locations you want to target people. So if someone's searching first-time home buyer in your city, you can actually target that city specifically, or you can target, really any location you want. So if they're searching in a different city than you set your ad to show up in, so let's say you're in Nashville and someone's typing, first-time home buyer in Los Angeles, you can actually set it so that person, your ad will not be served to that person because you've set your ad to only show to people in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, so you can totally do that. And you can also do it by, let's say someone types in first-time home buyers in Nashville. You can target that keyword instead of targeting first-time home buyers, and that'll actually make it so you're only competing with people in Nashville as well. So you can do a lot of different things with that, and we'll talk about that later on as well. Okay, so we'll get into the Google ads platform. It looks like this. Again, at first glance, there's a lot of stuff going on. We'll talk about just the basic things that you guys need to focus on to make sure you're functional within the platform. And then you'll see here, the Bing one looks pretty much the same. Again, they basically copy the entire business model and all the features that Google has. So we'll mostly spend time in this one. Okay. So to create a campaign, when you guys first set up an account, it'll walk you through sort of a setup wizard. So it'll be a little more simple where you sort of go through it step by step and set up your account. But once you're in, it'll look like this with a bunch of different information. And to create a new campaign, you'll click on this little plus button, okay? And how all these are set up is it's kind of in a tree branch hierarchy. So the highest level is a campaign. So let's say you're going to have a campaign for first-time home buyers, okay? Then within every campaign, you can create what are called ad groups. So they're groups of ads based on different criteria. So we can have our campaign of first-time home buyers. Your first group of ads will be, targeting first-time home buyers in North Carolina, and then your second one will be, people who are searching for frequently asked questions that a first-time home buyer would ask. And you can sort of break it up into different genres or sections. uh, under the big umbrella campaign. So you can have a campaign for first-time home buyers, a campaign for veteran loans, a campaign for specific loan programs that you offer, all sorts of things. You can break it down how you want. And after this, if you have any questions, marketing@BNTouch.com, and I can help you get more specific and granular about any specific things you guys want to set up after the fact. All right, so we're going to get into creating a new campaign and just sort of walk you through what everything means. So Google wants to make this as simple as possible. So they kind of set up tracks that you can go down to fit whatever specific goal you have with your ads. Okay. There's this first one, which is going to be sales. So this is going to be people, again, Google tracks everything that we do online. So if you want sales, this is going to be for people who Google has seen a history of them going onto websites from ads and actually buying products. Okay, so these are going to be the most expensive clicks you're going to get because these are people that Google has already determined are likely to purchase things online. Okay, I would say this one is not so great for mortgages and home loans because it's such a longer sales process. This tab here is more for people who are going to purchase a physical product or an ebook or something that they're going to get right away. It's sort of an instant purchase. Okay. This next one here, this is the one I'm going to recommend that we all use, and it's for leads. Okay. So this is people that Google has seen historically will go onto websites and sign up for more information. It's people who are looking for information before they make a purchase. So it's sort of one step back from someone who wants a quick buy. So this is what I recommend that you guys all set up your campaigns using, is this leads campaign type right here. Okay. Then here we have website traffic. So this is just for if you want to focus on sort of a branding campaign or getting high numbers of people to your website. The reason people would use this, I'd say, versus a leads or sales is if they want to do retargeting, which is sort of a more advanced move. So, if you go to a website or if you search for, boots on Amazon, you'll see ads for boots all over the internet. So this is what a website traffic campaign type would be used for. If you want to just get a bunch of people who may be interested in loans or loan information to your website, who may not really want to sign up for a lead or buy anything yet, and you want to retarget them on Facebook or on other places on the internet, that's what you'd use this one for. The rest of them, you guys don't need to really worry about as much as, you're less likely to be promoting an app or a physical product or something along those lines. So we're going to go ahead and we'll get into leads here. And then you'll see there's a bunch of different areas of the internet that you can actually put your ads on through Google, through the Google ad platform. Okay. The main one is search. Okay. And again, this is going to be right here where you'll see, in a Google search results, these are fully text. Okay. So there's no images allowed in these because they want them to look like regular search results. Okay. And that's what this search piece is. The display, this is going to be, Google actually put banner ads all over the internet on different websites in different categories. So I think I've always found this to be a little less effective. I'd recommend just sticking with search results. It's the easiest, and again, it's the one that the most people use. Okay, so this is going to be like, let's say there's a website that's comparing mortgage lenders in Texas. Okay, they'll be able to set up a little banner ad that Google will auto-populate the ads for them on their website based on ones that people have created. So they're people who have websites that are generating a lot of traffic, and they can actually put ads on Google, and they'll get a percentage of whatever's paid. They get a percentage of the cut that's paid to Google if someone clicks on those ads. All right. Then there's shopping. So this is going to be for people who are buying physical products. And then this last one here will maybe be important for some of you down the line. This one, you can actually set up ads on YouTube through Google. Since Google owns YouTube, these video ads, you can actually set up YouTube specific video campaigns from right here in your Google Ads platform. Okay. So anyone who has videos that they want to promote or video ads that they've created, you can actually set up ads on YouTube right here from within your Google Ads platform. So you can run a bunch of different types of ads all from one place. It's a really powerful platform. But again, if you're new to this, doing it for the first time, stick with search. It's the most simple, the least amount of extra things you need to worry about, and it gives you the best results. Okay, then here we're going to choose what is the goal of our campaign. I'm going to say for most of you, it's going to be website visits and phone calls. Okay, so this is essentially how Google is going to, they'll track what your goal is. So every time a goal is reached, it'll track that within Google, so you can see, which one of your ads is getting you your goal reached the most, whatever that goal is, and that can be, signing up for something on your website, starting a 1003 application, giving you a call. You're going to define sort of what your goal is, and then that'll be referred to from now on as conversions, right? So that's whatever your conversion point is, whatever is converting them into the lead, converting them into the call, converting them into, your sort of into your pipelines. All right. So here's a quick ninja tip. This is one that I use a lot, that I get a lot of value out of. So this is for website visits. It tells you to put in your business's website here, but we can actually do something that's going to help us in the long run. So right now we're creating, we'll call this a first-time home buyer campaign for people who are first-time home buyers in our area. Okay, so a little trick you can do to make Google do some extra work for you, to find some keywords that might really help this campaign without you having to think of them, is let's go ahead and we'll type in, mortgages for first-time home buyers, and then we'll do NC for North Carolina. Okay, so what we're actually going to do is we're going to copy the address of the first result on Google for a keyword that we want. Okay, so for first-time home buyers, so, right, we typed in mortgages for first-time homebuyers in North Carolina. Okay, so this is what people might search for to find more information on what to do as a first-time homebuyer to get a mortgage. Okay, these are people that we want coming to our website, seeing our ads, clicking on our stuff. All right, so instead of putting in our website here, we're going to put in the address to this first result. And what this is going to do is this has already been optimized for all the keywords that we might want around first-time homebuyers in North Carolina. So Google's actually going to go to their website and suggest keywords that people have been typing in to find that website. So it'll give us a bunch of ideas of keywords we can start to target right off the bat without us having to do anything. Okay, and then we'll put in here the phone number for our business, and then we're going to go ahead and click continue. Okay, so this is going to sort of break down what we've already been through. Okay, we've already put our goal here as leads. We're going to give our campaign a name. So this one will be our first-time home buyer. This will be our first-time home buyer campaign. And then again, you can choose where on the internet you want your ads to show up. Okay, so this is going to be Google search partner sites. So these are going to be sort of third-party search engines that are in a network of search engines that Google has. I recommend just keeping these on. It just allows you to have more people you can reach outside of Google that's still regulated by Google. So it'll be the same process. Okay, and then again, the display network is it's going to show up on third-party websites related to your keywords. So if you're again looking for first-time home buyers, then this will put your ad onto websites that are talking about tips for first-time home buying or best lenders for first-time home buyers. Okay, so I'd recommend keeping both these on. Again, it's just going to give you more people you can reach with your ad. Okay, and then here, Jeff, is what you were talking about geo-defining, adding locations. You'll be able to put in the location of people you want to target here. Okay, so let's say, again, the more specific you make this, the better. So, you don't want to just go United States if you don't service people in the entire United States. So let's say we're going to be doing Charlotte, North Carolina. We have loans there. And you can do a couple cool things here with this as well. You can include nearby areas. So it'll auto list those for you as well. And then you can choose areas within there to exclude or include. So if there's a county or a town in your area that you notice you don't get very good leads from, you can exclude those from who you want your ads to be shown to. Okay, but we're just going to go with Charlotte just straight up here. Okay, so and then it'll show you how many people it's going to reach here. All right, so it's going to be 12 million people are reached in this. So again, going more specific is better just because there are a lot of people that exist. All right. We don't really need to look at any of the advanced options. Again, it's going to be pretty straightforward. You're just going to put in what locations you service, and then it's only going to show up to people who are searching for first-time home buyers in those locations, searching for first-time home buyer information in those locations. Okay. You can set up languages. Again, if you guys are in a primarily Hispanic region, you can set Spanish and create Spanish campaigns as well as English campaigns and ads through this as well. Okay, and then you don't have to really worry about audiences or anything else. And next we're going to put in is our budget. So this is how much per day we're going to spend on our ads, and this can be set at whatever you want. So if you're doing this for the first time and you just want to try it out, you can set this at a couple dollars a day, and it's not going to affect your results because you're paying per click. So it gives you a really low committal way to come in and try this out for the first time. Okay. I would recommend, if you can, put it around $20 a day to start if this is your first time doing this and you can manage that. You want to be able to have enough things happen so you can see what's working and what's not. If you're only putting in a couple dollars a day, you're only going to get a couple clicks a day, and it's going to take you a long time to see if something's working, because it might take you a week to get 10 clicks on something, and you really want to see what's working by accruing a lot of data, by how many clicks did it get, how many people went to my website, how many people signed up for the thing I want them to sign up for, etc. Okay. And then again, we're going to be wanting conversions here. This is going to be, again, getting the call, having them sign up on our website, through all of those different things. It makes it cost a little bit more, but again, it'll bring people to our website that Google has seen historically sign up for products and fill out forms and do things online that we want other people to do. Okay, and then that's really all you guys need to worry about for setting up this piece of the campaign. You're going to save and continue. All right, so this is where we're going to create our first ad group. All right, so this is going to be, let's say, just sort of our generic first-time home buyer searches. All right, so we're just going to have this one say general searches. Okay, there's going to be nothing specific. So, get a mortgage for first-time home buyer, home loans for first-time home buyers, things that people are searching that are just sort of generic first-time home buyer searches. Okay, and then here you can put in as many keywords as you want for an ad that you're setting up. I would recommend that you have at least 10 for every ad group. Okay, have at least 10 keywords for every ad group, just in case some don't get a lot of traction or not a lot of people search for. It'll give you enough diversity in your keywords that you might get one home run, and then one or two home runs, and then maybe 6 or 7 that are okay, and a couple that don't get a lot of searches. Okay, and then you actually see here on this get keywords ideas. Remember here when we went into we got the first search result. We put that in, and it's now giving us keywords that people use to find that search result. So we're letting Google kind of do the work for us here. So we'll get a lot of, this is what they suggest based on that website that we put in, okay? So we got first-time home buyer North Carolina, that's awesome. First-time home buyer, yep. First-time home buyer programs North Carolina. See, we have down payment assistance. So if they're first-time home buyers, maybe they're gonna want, maybe they'll be searching for assistance for their down payment. Again, it's going to give you way more ideas than you probably would have got on your own just by sitting and thinking about it. So we'll put in 10 of these. Okay, first-time home buyer grants, first-time home buyer loan, first-time home buyer Charlotte, down payment assistant. Okay, so we'll get 10 of these in here, and then this is going to set up sort of the structure of our first campaign. These are going to be all the keywords. So anytime someone types in first-time home buyer, our ad's going to show up. Anytime they type in down payment assistance North Carolina, our ad is going to show up. Okay, so these are the things that people can type in that'll cause our ad to show up. Okay, and again, you can create multiple ad groups. So let's say we wanted to create one where it's only keywords that had a specific city in it. Or let's say we wanted to have one where it was first time home buyer Charlotte. Okay, so this is going to be a specific city that we do business in. So we'll do just the same thing. We're going to take first-time home buyer, and then we're just going to add Charlotte to the end of it, and this will make it more specific, right? So these are going to have less competition just by putting in our specific city. So we'll probably be paying less for people searching for this than if it's just first-time home buyer, right? Because anyone who's creating an ad is going to think of first-time home buyer. A few less people are going to think about adding a specific city or a specific area within Charlotte, or the more you can make this granular and specific, the more powerful and less competition you're going to have. Again, because it's an auction system, the less you're going to pay for those clicks. So you're going to get some more bang for your buck. Okay. We'll save and continue here. And this is where you're actually going to create your ad. Okay. And again, they're going to look like any type of Google search that you do. So they're going to look like this. So you're setting it up to be this way. Okay. So this final URL, this is where you're going to put your website. So we'll put, kevinshomeloans.com. All right, and then our headline, you're going to want to try something catchy here. And again, the beautiful thing about creating ads, these digital ads, is you can create as many of these as you want. So let's say I created an ad that said, great info for first time home. I'm going to do info for first time home buyers. Headline 2, call the day for a quote. Okay. Whatever we want this to be. Okay. We can create then a second ad, right? And we can change this a little bit, right? So we can say info for first time home buyers, and then the next we can say great info for first time home buyers, or free first time home buyer consultation. We can make a bunch of different variations of an ad, and Google will then show them all, and whichever ones perform the best, it'll get rid of the other two and show the one that's performing the best the most. Okay, so it actually uses a lot of AI to help us, so we can create a bunch of different options, and whichever one is getting the most clicks for the cheapest or is getting the most signups on your website, Google will actually show that one more than the other ads. So I'd say create at least 3 variations of an ad when you're going through and creating this, and then you'll be able to see which one's doing the best. Okay, so let's say you made one that was free consultation for first-time home buyers. That's what your offer was. That's what your ad said. Okay, and you saw that one was doing 3 times better than all your other ads. Then you could come back in a couple weeks and make a bunch of variations of that ad. So it's free consultation, free first-time consultation, and get your consultation today. And then you'll see which one of those 3 does the best. You come back in a couple weeks and you make variations of that ad. Okay, so that's how you're going to optimize and make these things better over time. Is you're going to see what's working, and then you're going to create variations of the thing that did the best, that worked the best. Then you'll come back weeks later, you'll see what's working, you'll create variations of what did the best that second time. Okay. Okay, so you'll see it'll show a preview of your ad here. These are your headlines. It's what's going to be on top, and you'll see you get a pretty short amount of text. So you can also string these together. So if I wanted to say free consultation for, I've now ran out of characters here. You can see it's 30 out of 30 for first time home buyers, right? But I'm stringing them together to make one long statement as well. So that's a way you can sort of work around the character limit, is you can string all of these headlines together to create a longer sentence. Okay. This is going to be the display path. So this isn't actually a website they're going to go to. Let's say you have like an ugly landing page where it's kevinshomeloans.com/first-time-home-buyer/landing/version 2, right? If you have an ugly link, an ugly URL, you can make it prettier. So you can have it say Kevin's Home Loan, and then you can have it say /first-time-buyer. And this is just how it's going to look on the ad. So it allows you to make the URL look prettier, so it feels more trustworthy when someone clicks on that ad. Okay, this isn't actually where someone's going to go when they click on the ad. And then here you're going to put a description. So this is where you're going to be able to put some longer information rather than just that title for your ad as well. #1 provider of loans for first-time home buyers in North Carolina. Okay, and then we're going to have here today to get your free first-time home buyer consultation. All right, so that's a pretty straightforward ad. Get your consultation for first-time home buyers, get your home loan fast, #1 provider for first-time home buyers in North Carolina. Call today to get your free first-time home buyer consultation. Okay, we've made it's a pretty straightforward ad. And then again, I'd recommend you make a couple different versions of that ad. And again, Google will display all 3 of them to those keywords, and then it'll show the one that does the best the most. You can come back in a week or two, see which one won of your competition, we'll call it, and then make some variations of that ad. And you'll keep optimizing it and making it more effective over time. Okay. So again, because it's this simple to create and change stuff, experiment. Try something that you think might be a little crazy, or try something that you wouldn't usually say, or try stuff out, and you can always see what works and what doesn't. Okay, we're going to hit done, and then this will create the ad down here and allow you to then create another one. So create a couple versions of it, and then when we're done with that, we're going to save and continue. Cool, so our campaign is ready. This is going to give us just a basic overview of the information that we selected, so that you can see and make sure nothing's messed up and it's going to the right location and you have the right goal and budget and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and continue to the campaign. Cool. So then you should see it pop up right here in the ads platform, and this is going to be the results screen. Okay, this is where it's going to start to attract data around what's happening with your ad. Okay, so it shows the status here. And again, this is going to be, Google has a lot of policies. So if you created an ad that doesn't fit one of their policies, it'll let you know here. It'll say, it's been flagged for this, and then it'll give you a little button you can click on, and it'll say why it didn't pass the ad policy. Okay, if it says eligible, you know you're all good and your ad is running. Okay, you'll also see that with this green dot here. This means your ad is enabled and it's running. You can pause your ads by clicking on that dot. So if you want to stop an ad for a while, it's really easy to do. Maybe it's spent more money than you wanted to, or you forgot about it for a few weeks. You can pause it while you optimize it and figure out what you need to do with it. Next here we have the conversion. So that is going to be the goal, right? The thing you want it to track to know your ad is doing what you want it to do. Okay. So that can be, you can have clicks be the conversions. You can have people who call you. And with Google Ads, you can actually set up a button that they can click on and it'll call you from their phone. So they can see your ad on the search results, click the little phone call button, and it'll actually dial your number on their phone automatically, and it would track that as a conversion. Okay, you can set it up a bunch of different ways. It'll then show you the cost per conversion. So how much is it costing you every time someone signs up on your website? How much is it costing you every time someone clicks on your ad, right? Whatever your conversion is. This one gives you the total cost, so how much you've spent fully. And this might be a little more helpful to look at on an ad that's actually running. So let's go back to here. Okay, so we'll actually go into one of our BNTouch ads. You're getting a nice behind the scenes look here. Okay, so we're targeting people who are searching for mortgage CRM, obviously. You'll see here we've gotten on April 30th, we got 2 people to sign up for a free demo. So that tracks here with a cost of $28.84. Okay, so with a total cost of $28.84, 2 conversions divided by 2, we're paying $14 for each of those website signups. Okay, we got to click on the ad. We'll do through a week so you guys can get a better sign. Okay, so this is through a week. Okay, 4 conversions, 27 per conversion. The full cost was 100. We got 6 clicks. Okay, and our average cost per click was $18. Okay, so again, that's because this is a high competition keyword. Any mortgage CRM is going to want to compete for the keyword mortgage CRM. Okay, if we did mortgage CRM in North Carolina, that's going to be less competition, so this cost per click will go down. All right. And then here's the conversion rate. So this is of all the people who clicked on it, what percentage of them actually did the thing that we wanted them to do. Okay. And again, you can add columns and customize this to look however you want. Okay. All right, so we can actually change things. We can modify the columns to add different things. How many impressions, what the click-through rate is. So of how many people saw it, what percentage of them actually clicked on our ads. There's a bunch of different stuff here. Again, you don't need to worry about this. You'll be able to function off just the basic columns that you get from Google itself. Cool. So I'm going to pull this up. Any questions about setting up an ad or anything specifically on this piece of it, on how to set up an ad or what types of ads you guys want to set up? And if not, we will move on to, yes, Jeff says, say thank you for those 2 clicks. I say thank you for them every day. And it's a great strategy because you can always see what's happening. And again, if you're creating a bunch of different versions of an ad, you're always going to be shooting to lower the number of your cost per click, to lower the number of your cost per conversion. So you're paying less for more signups, for more clicks, for more conversions. Okay, that's the goal. Cool. And then Bing is essentially the same thing. Okay, so you're going to create a campaign and you'll go through sort of the same process that we just did before. Excuse me, clicked on the wrong thing here. Okay, yeah, so again, it's the same thing. What's the goal of the campaign? Then you'll go through doing the keywords. They pretty much copy and paste the whole Google strategy and formula. So once you do it through Google, you'll be able to figure it out doing it through Bing as well. Let's see, Jeff had a question here. So let's say, when defining locations, do we need to be concerned with unintentional redlining? No, not so much. Again, if you're doing a city, or especially a big city or a couple of cities, there's going to be a lot of people that'll be included in it. And again, you can create a campaign that just targets Charlotte, North Carolina, let's say one city that you're using, that's like the biggest city, and then you can create another one that targets a specific location within Charlotte, and you can see which one performs better, right? Which one is getting you cheaper clicks, which one is getting you cheaper signups on your website. If you have a question sort of like that, try an experiment, right? Create a campaign that targets one, create a campaign that targets the other, and see which one gets you cheaper clicks, gets you cheaper conversions. All right, so try it out. Again, you can set a budget that's as low or high as you want. So you can create a test that spends a couple bucks a day and see in a few days whether it's getting cheaper clicks than your other campaign, right? You can test these things pretty non-consequentially and see what works for you. Okay, and then just some strategies. We already talked about a couple of these a little bit, but doing keyword research. Okay, there's actually a tool within Google that lets you look up different keywords you can use to target your ads. Okay, it's a really helpful tool. You'll see here there's a wrench icon. We're going to click on that, and then you'll see in the planning they actually have a keyword planner. Okay, that's really the only tool you need to worry about up front. And this is going to let you find different keywords. Let's say, what marketing is at the end of the day is it's really just acting, not in front of a camera, right? You're getting into the head of people who are going to be looking for your business, right? So let's say it's a first-time homebuyer campaign. You want to think like a first-time homebuyer. What would they search in Google to find my business? And that's the keywords you want to be targeting. Okay, so maybe the best way is maybe you have a friend who's buying a house for the first time. Ask them what they would look for, what they would search on Google to find information on first-time home buying, and target those keywords. Okay, and once you get an idea, so let's say if I was a first-time home buyer, I would want to search get a mortgage for first-time home buyer in North Carolina. Okay, so this right here is what we would call, you'll see here, a long tail keyword. That essentially just means a long sentence rather than a couple of words, right? And the more long tail, the longer your keywords are, uh, the less competition there will be around those keywords, okay? Like for example, if I just put in mortgage first time home buyer, that is a shorter tail keyword. Again, the shorter they are, or just if I put it, get mortgage, right? Most people assume that they're lazy, that we're competing against for these eyeballs. They're just going to put in the most simple keywords they can think of, run their ad, and move on, right? If we put in a little more thought, we can actually skirt around them. We'll actually get cheaper clicks, pay less money for our conversions. So a long tail keyword is something I would always recommend you think about and try as well. All right, so we'll put in these first two. Get mortgage for a first-time home buyer in North Carolina, first-time mortgage, first-time home buyer. And this tool will actually give us suggestions on what Google thinks are related keywords to the ones that we put in. Okay. So you'll see here, it shows us, here's the keywords here that we put in. It shows us the average monthly searches. So we can see how much people are actually searching for this keyword, and that'll let us know if it's a keyword that is going to bring us a lot of traffic to our website or not, okay? And you'll see here, this gets about 1,300 searches a month. First-time home buyer credit gets about 5,400. So if we run our ad for, let's say, a couple of weeks with just these two keywords, and we're like, man, it's not getting a lot of clicks, we can come back in and add some more keywords that get a lot more searches. So basically it just means we're going to be showing up in front of a lot more eyeballs. If more people are searching, it gives our ad more opportunity to show up in the search results. Okay, so you can go ahead and you can click these, and you can actually add them right from here into your group, into your ad groups, right? So if we already have an existing campaign, right, you'll see we can add it right to our first-time homebuyer campaign right from here. Okay, so we can search, find new keywords based on what Google thinks is related to something that we typed in, right? So it gives us more ideas, okay? And it actually will give you what the cost per click is that people are paying on average for this keyword as well. So you can see from this page if it's a cheap keyword or an expensive keyword based on how much competition there is, right? Because it's an auction system. So 500 people all put in first-time mortgage, mortgage for first-time home buyer, it's going to be more expensive because all those people are competing to show up, and whoever's willing to pay the most is who's going to get to show up for that keyword, right? So here it will actually show the competition for that keyword, right? So high competition means a lot of people have ads right now that's targeting that keyword. Medium competition means a middle amount do, and then low competition keywords, these will generally have your lowest cost per click, okay? Because there's the least people competing for that keyword. So I would say in general, look for low competition keywords because again, you'll likely get cheaper cost per click on those keywords. But again, try it all out, see what works for you. Okay, so you'll see here, this will give you a range to show up at the top of the page, right? So you can assume the average that you'll be paying for this keyword is somewhere in between the lower range and the high range, all right? If you want to be conservative, I would just always assume you're going to pay the high range, and that'll give you a better general sense in your head of how much you'll be paying for a click, okay? Assume the worst, hope for the best, right? So, but again, you'll probably average somewhere in between these two. Okay, and that's all you really need to use this for. You can add more keywords right to your ad groups right from here, right? You can add in keywords just by checking them, adding them to one of your ad groups. You can see if it's how many people are searching for that keyword, and it'll give you a general sense of how much you're going to pay for using that keyword as well. Okay, and again, you have your short tail, which is get mortgage, home loans, and then your long tail, get a home loan in Nashville, Tennessee. That'll be a longer one. That'll have less competition, right? So shoot for a longer tail keyword if you can. Again, the more specific you can be with these, the more likely you can create a highly targeted ad for that person, and the less people will be competing, so the less you're going to pay for your clicks. All right, what I always do is I build all my campaigns externally. So I get a piece of paper and I write, almost looking like a family tree. Well, I'll write the campaign, first-time home buyer. I'll draw 2 lines coming out of it, and I'll have, first-time home buyers, North Carolina, first-time home buyers in Charlotte. Those are going to be my 2 ad groups, and then I'll write down some keywords underneath all of those. So I'll build out the structure of what it's going to look like on a piece of paper, and then I'll go into the Google ad platform and I'll build it out from there. Because it can get a little confusing if you don't think about the strategy of how you want to break these down by just going in and doing it, right? So I'd have, my home loan campaign, I'd draw that in a box. I'd draw 2 lines coming down. I'll have my first-time home buyer ad group and my condo home buyer ad group, where I'm targeting people who are searching for loans for condos, right? And I'm going to have that be its own specific ad group. So I'll lay it all out on a piece of paper or a whiteboard so I can see the structure of how it's all going to fit together. And then I'll go into Google AdWords or the Google ad platform, and then I'll build my campaign based on that, right? So it allows you to put some thought into how you want to target people, what kind of keywords you're going to target, and then I call them genres of keywords. So first-time home buyers would be a genre, condo home buyer, condo loans would be a genre, different loan programs that you have could be different genres. All right, we're always going to want to give every ad group at least 10 keywords. We discussed this a little bit, but again, this is Google's going to be trying things out for you. So it'll show your ad for any keyword that you put in, and the keywords that are getting the best results for you, it'll make your ad show up for those more. It'll prioritize the ones that are working the best. So you want to have at least 10 keywords so that if some are duds or if some fail, it makes it more likely you're going to get the home run, right? So I'd say 10 to 20 is really where you want to be when you're starting out with a campaign. Okay, and we talked about this a little bit too as well. You can actually have call campaigns where you click, a user can actually click a little phone icon on your ad, and it'll dial the number on their phone, and they'll automatically start calling you right from the ad. They don't have to go to your website. They don't have to look at your landing page. They can just look at your ad and say, oh, they might have information for me. Click the button, and they'll be on the phone with you. In this industry, I recommend you guys all try a call-only campaign as well. Okay. And then finally, we're going to want to be testing and optimizing. So here's a couple different tricks we can use to make sure our ads are optimized. They have a thing here inside the platform called ad extensions. And these are little things you can add to your ad to make them more functional, right? So let's say you have your ad here. Okay, you see they actually have little spaces you can click on within their ad. Let's see if we can actually get some live ads up here for you guys so we can take a look. Okay. Yeah, so here's some actually live ads for home loans in North Carolina. And you'll see this is just a straightforward text ad. You'll see they have their headline here. Here's the link that we created, and then here's all the description that they put, okay? What you guys really want to do with your ads, right? Because this is paid real estate. So you want to make your ads as large as possible, right? The more space you take up, the more you're getting for your money. Okay, so you can actually add things called ad extensions. I really want to get here. I can probably just Google search it so you guys can see what it looks like. You can add extensions to your ads that make them larger, right? So you'll see here this one. This ad is much larger than the other one that we had up that was just the text ad with the headline, because they've added extensions on. I'll show you guys how to do that in a second. But you can add specific links. So let's say you wanted to add a link to your About Us page, your contact page, your Start Your Loan Application Now page. You can actually add specific links, and it'll add those to your ads, and then it'll make your ad bigger, right? So you're getting more real estate within these 4 spaces on the search for your money. You can add different things. So if you you can add the current rate for loans. You can add how many people you've serviced. You can add your phone number and different click to call buttons. So I'll show you guys that right now. We're going to go back to the home. Let's see. Okay, so once we click into our sorry, didn't go to ours, the one that we created. 1 second, friends. All right, we're going to go into our first time home buyer campaign. So you'll see it here. Okay. And then from in here, you'll see there's a bunch of different options we can use on different settings and different things we can set up for the campaign. Here you'll see ad extensions. Okay, so we can actually create a bunch of different ad extensions for our ad. All right. Let's see. Cool. So we can make it a call only ad. So this is how you're going to make it so they can click on your ad and just go right on the phone with you without having to look at your website. If you have a text ad, oops. Sorry about that. Cool. Sorry, extensions are here. All right, so you can have a site link extension. So for us at BNTouch, we have all the different versions of our sort of categories. So we can have, for veteran loans, we can have for first-time home buyers. We can break it down into different sections of our website that we offer, so people can get more specific things from our ad. So go ahead and play around in here. If it's still a little confusing, you can do a YouTube search for Google Ad Extensions Explained, and people will break that down a little further for you. Or feel free to email me at marketing@bntouch.com, and we can dive into this a little more specifically as it's more of an advanced tactic. Okay. Optimizing, you always want to wait for enough data, right? So if you have 3 ads and you only wait for each of them to get 3 clicks before you say this one wins, you may have 0 clicks one day and get 10 clicks the next day. So you want to wait at least a week or 2 before you make any decisions about which ad wins. I always say wait till you get about 10 to 20 conversions on your ad before you make a decision on which one is winning, which ones you want to get rid of, and which ones you want to make more variations of. Okay. You're always going to want to be adjusting your ads and your text and your landing page text, right? So if we're optimizing, right, we talked about how you're going to want to make different variations of your ads that are winning. You're also going to want to do the same thing with your landing pages. Okay, you might want to make a couple different versions of a landing page for first-time home buyers, where you move the images around, where you use different text on the landing page, and then see which one of those gets you the most results as well, because Google can track that as well, what people do on your landing page. Okay. You're also going to want to make sure that you're creating new ad groups based on what keywords are winning, right? So let's say we are going to go into one of our campaigns here. We're going to go back to our campaigns, and then we'll go back into the mortgage CRM. It'll show you one that we're using. You're going to click inside of your ad group. Oops, this only has 1 keyword in it. I'm not even following my own advice. Let's go to a different one. Okay, so in here we have a bunch of different keywords, and you can see, let's put this at 30 days. Let that load. So this is all the different keywords in our campaign. We have, mortgage marketing, mortgage leads, loan officer websites, and you'll see here, this one has gotten the most clicks, okay, and most impressions, the highest click-through rate, and then you can actually filter these so you can see different things in here as well. So you'll see we're getting the lowest cost per click on some of these. The highest cost per click is mortgage system, and it'll give you different pieces of data. So let's say you find one keyword. So let's say mortgage system. Let's say for you guys it'll be first-time home buyer information. Create a new ad group that's just a bunch of variations of that keyword. So it's first-time home buyer info, first-time home buyer information, first-time home buyer information North Carolina. And you can actually take your winning keywords and turn it into a whole ad group where you just create, that ad group is just a bunch of variations of that keyword. All right. And then there's also A/B testing your ad settings. So this is going to be, you'll see in here, there's a settings tab. So this is going to be like when you set up the campaign, right? So maybe we want to try one where we tell Google we want to get as many clicks as possible. Okay, we can change the strategy here, and we can make it say, optimize this to get the most conversions possible, optimize this to get the most clicks possible. Just create 2 versions that have one for clicks and one for conversions and see what does the best, right? The goal here is all about testing and trying different things and trying different versions and then looking at the data and seeing what does the best. All right. Again, the whole optimization piece, just start by creating an ad and seeing what results you get, and slowly dip your toes in here and get more and more comfortable as you go on. Okay, there's tons of resources online. If you have questions about this stuff, again, there's anything you want to know, search it on YouTube, and there will be a guy who will walk you through how to do it. And you're always welcome to reach out to me with any more questions. Okay, if you guys have questions on any of this stuff that we went over so far, go ahead and type those into the chat. That's what we're going through today. I will have recorded this webinar. Matthew, I see that you asked a copy of the presentation. Yes, this webinar will be recorded. I will put it into the BNTouch family Facebook group right after this is done. And then it'll be on our YouTube page as well. So if you haven't joined the BNTouch Facebook group, I will post a link into that as well. And I'll put the recording right into the Facebook group. I don't see any questions coming in, so I'll hang out for another minute or two. If you guys have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat box. And then again, if trying all this stuff out for yourself is going to be the most important, just getting into the platform and playing around. You're welcome, guys. Again, you can put a $3 a day budget and just let it run and see what happens, see how it goes. And then, dip your toes in and start doing a little more and a little more. And as you get more comfortable, you can come back and watch later parts of the webinar, watch the optimized piece, but get in there and have fun, guys. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys on the next webinar. Thank you very much.